The morning mist lingered over the still waters of Black Hollow Lake, as though nature itself was holding its breath. The surface was so calm it mirrored the sky with uncanny perfection. Elena hadn't returned to the lake in over 10 years. Not since that summer, not since the night her brother disappeared beneath the surface without a trace. The town had changed very little. The same general store, the same withered dog, and the same suspicious glances from the locals. Outsiders were never truly welcomed back. Elena stood at the edge of the dock, the wooden planks creaking beneath her boots. A gust of wind brushed past her, cold and unwelcome, as if the lake was warning her to leave again. She reached into her coat and pulled out an old photograph. It showed her and her brother, Thomas, arms around each other, grinning in the summer sun. The memory felt both warm and distant. Despite all the investigations and search parties, Thomas was never found. The police called it an accident. The town called it bad luck. Elena never believed either. Now a journalist, she had returned not just for closure, but for answers. Over the years, she had pieced together fragments, old newspaper clippings, hushed conversations, even strange weather patterns that coincided with disappearances around the lake. She began speaking to the older residents first, those who had lived there long before she was born. Most were interested to talk. A few hinted at legends they refused to explain. Eventually, she found a man named Harold, a former freshman who now lived alone near the woods. His hands trembled as he poured her tea, eyes darting toward the lake through his kitchen window. "There's something beneath the water," Harold said softly. "Something that listens. It doesn't take everyone, just the ones it chooses." Elena pressed him for more, but Harold only muttered a few cryptic lines about echoes from the deep and the price of silence. He gave her an old map marked with a red X near the north shore. That night she couldn't sleep. The wind outside moaned like a voice calling from a distance. Something about the map, and Harold's fear, felt more real than any of the stories she had heard. The next morning she followed the map's route, moving through thick woods until she reached the location. There, half submerged in the lake, was a structure, possibly an old boathouse, hidden from plain view. Inside, it was dark and damp. Broken boards and rusted metal lay scattered, but in the center was a strange stone with carvings, symbols she had never seen before. As she examined the stone, a whisper echoed through the room, though no one else was there. It called her name, not like a voice, but like a memory she had forgotten. Suddenly, the water began to ripple. A shape emerged, vague, like a person standing just beneath the surface. Her heart raced, but her feet refused to move. It was Thomas, or something that looked like him. He smiled faintly, sadly, and pointed toward the stone. Then he sank slowly back into the lake. Elena fell to her knees, overwhelmed by emotion and fear. The carvings on the stone began to glow faintly. She reached out, her hand trembling, and touched them. In an instant, visions flooded her mind, memories that weren't hers, voices chanting, people disappearing, and a pact made generations ago to protect the town by feeding the silence. When Elena finally left the structure, the sun had risen. The lake looked the same, but something had changed. She knew now what had taken her brother, and she carried the weight of its secret back to town. unsure whether to expose the truth or let the silence continue.